Hello, happy Saturday. Welcome to This Yogi Dances Saturday the 30th, May 30th edition of Core. Get yourself probably 2 blocks. We have been doing a couple weeks of burnout, like going super hard with reps. We're going to do reps today, but we're not going to go hard burnout style. Okay, so probably 2 blocks. Get yourself into a comfortable mat situation. If you haven't moved the body around yet today, give yourself some wrist circles in one direction, the other direction. And check in with your breath. And as you exhale, pull the navel up and in. And then pull fingertips down, keeping the fingertips interlaced towards the body and press out the wrist. And then do that on the other side. Take a big inhale here. And big exhale. Do that same action, but push the palms away from you. Shoulder heads back, down and in. Puff up the chest, but exhale, hollow out the belly. See if you can keep that and send the arms up above you. Inhale, get long and tall. Exhale, find a twist. Continue to push the ceiling away. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, find your twist on the other side. Widen the arms, bring it down, and bring yourself to your mat if you aren't there already. Blocks nice and close. And bring yourself back onto your elbows. You can lay flat to do this action, but it will shift and change a little bit for the low belly. We can be on the elbows here, and it will give you a nice shoulder stretch most likely. Take some windshield wiper legs here. On one side, the other side. And then pause in a direction, encouraging one knee down, that pelvis forward. Inhale here, exhale. Do the other side. Press the pelvis forward, encourage the knee towards the floor without taking knee pain. And exhale, hollow out the low belly. Bring it back to the center. Maybe for a second, just massaging out the low back, knees into the chest, take some circles, one direction and the other, and then just notice here what happens to the chest as you tuck tailbone, probable hollowing of the chest. Try to keep the chest up and forward. Because we'll take that length of the tailbone and hold on to your side of your mat if you like. I'm going to take a little gentle tuck of the tailbone, but keep the chest up. Exhale, pull the low belly in. Take one leg up, the other leg extended, and start taking bicycle legs. See about flexing the foot on the way up and pointing the foot on the way out. Keep the heart forward. Continue your breath. Pull the low belly in and use the low belly to bring the knee into the chest. Bring the thigh closer to the face. Continue your breath. 3, 2, 1. Go the other way. Continue to use the low belly to take the knee into the chest and to extend the leg. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. If you need it, take a windshield wiper leg moment. Lay the back all the way on the floor. Release the neck. Big inhale. Big exhale. All right. Wiggle your hands close to the side of the pelvis. So maybe the thumb starts to come close underneath the butt, but that's about it. Take the shoulders wide, press the hands into the floor, and press the low back down. Take the legs up, bent, or legs up, lengthened. And then exhale, slowly start to lower the legs down. Exhale, hollow out the low belly, push the low back to the floor more, and bring it back up. Inhale your way down. Exhale, hollow out the belly and lift your way back up. Do that a few more times. Breathe. Squeeze the legs together, zip up the legs. If you want more to do, take the chin into the chest and lift the shoulders off the floor. Breathe. Keep pressing the low back to the floor and hollowing out the belly. Pause on your way down. Take the legs apart. Maybe flex the feet. Squeeze the legs back together. Take the legs apart. Point the toes. Squeeze the legs back together. Did your low back come off the floor? Push it back down. Flexing and pointing. Shoulders out of the face. Squeeze the inner leg line. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the legs back up. Take the knees into the chest. Give yourself a rock side to side. Inhale. Exhale. Put the feet down on the floor. Take the hands behind the head without interlacing the fingers. Take the elbows wide out to the side. On an exhale, curl the head up. Inhale, make your way down. Maybe a short breath. Can you get your shoulder blade tips all the way off the floor? Take your face not up towards the ceiling for now, but chin into chest. Few more. Elbows try to stay wide out to the side. Try to avoid doing what I was doing and letting them creep forward. Breathe. 5. Roll back to the floor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Take a break. Undo the arms. Windshield wiper the legs if you need to. Take the knees into the chest if that feels good. Come back to this neutral position and making our way, if possible, you can take the hands behind the head once again, but maybe arms out in front. We're going to take tiny little pulses in between the thighs. Exhale. Lift yourself up. Reach the arms through the thighs and take little pulses. Chest stays up, just hitting the back of the hand, either thigh. Squeeze. 10, 9, go faster. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Big inhale. Big exhale. Let's use the lower abdominal, tailbone lengthening, the upper abdominal, ribs in, crunch-like position. So maybe even do that for yourself here now. Find your frontal hip bones, maybe with your middle finger, and your low ribs, maybe with your thumb. On an exhale, pull the low back to the floor, pull the low belly in, and feel how that takes your hip bones in a way up towards the sternum, and then exhale. You'll feel your ribs move down towards the floor. It's a feeling like the ribs and the hip bones want to come and meet one another. That is the feeling we want to find in our plank pose. So, rolling yourself up, making your way forward into a plank. You can be on the hands here. I'm going to choose to do forearm plank here today. Kick one leg back, kick the other leg back, hang out. Find that feeling we just found laying reclined on the floor. Breathe here. Maybe if you want to rock forward and back, but don't shift anything about the butt lifting up. Keep the butt going long. Can you drop the chest down, but keep the belly up? Chest down, belly up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the pelvis down, stay on the elbows. Press the elbows down, reach the heart forward, let the ribs sink to the floor. You can wiggle the seat side to side. You can circle the head. You can look over one shoulder and then the other. And breathe. Just giving yourself some time here to focus on exactly what is in front of you, how the body is feeling, what the body is doing. Maybe some shrugs of the chest toward the floor. Push the elbows down, chest away from the floor. All right, we're going to come back to that same neutral position. If you need to even take the knees down to the floor, you'll take the knees down to the floor. So coming to your elbows, forearm plank. You can keep the forearms parallel with the palms facing down, or you can clasp the hands. Hang out here. Continue to knit in the sideways and pull the belly up away from the front of the pants. Like physically impossible, but what happens to the activation of the navel if you try that? Breathe here, chest wide, belly up and in. Maybe rock forward and back. Keeping that navel in, keeping the low back long, maybe taking some dips. One side, the other side. Chin stays lifted. 3, 2, 1. Come to neutral, lower the knees, lower the pelvis. Come back to that Sphinx pose, back bend. Let the belly release and get soft. Maybe shrug the shoulders into the ears and then back down. Keep breathing. All right, coming, if possible, to full plank on the palms, full plank on the palms. So instead of lifting the butt, I think we did this last week, I can't remember now. Instead of lifting the butt, we're lifting from the frontal body. I'm trying to hollow out the whole self. You can start to practice that here on the elbows. If I lift the navel and I'm trying to pull the belly away from the front of the pants, like what does that do for the frontal engagement of the abdominals? So it's a feeling of rounding the back, but it's not coming from the back body. It's coming from the front body, okay? So if you want to stay on the floor here, I mean, this is a really good way to make whole body shake happen. Okay, you can exaggerate that, taking the chin into the chest. So that's one option to stay there. You can do this on the forearms, but if possible, coming up to full plank on the palms. Hang out here. I'm going to take 5. Ready? Go. Push the floor away with the hands and the feet. Pull the belly up. And then come back to neutral. Feel like coming back to neutral is the harder part. Press down. Float the frontal body. Bring it back down. No sinking into the lumbar spine. This is 3. Maybe even see your toes. 4, 5. Hold. 5. Maybe lean forward. 4. Get lighter on the toes. 3. Pull the belly in more. 2. Lower down. 1. Shake out the wrists if you need to. Pull the shoulders up, back, and down. Hey, buddy. Want to say hi? No? Okay. Taking forearm or full side plank, forearm or palm. Taking my right arm across the body. I can support with the top foot in front or behind, or foot on top of foot. I can also stack one in front of the other. Side plank here, squeezing your side body to lift the butt up. Breathe, tailbone long. You can gaze down to the side while we're up. Impossible here, most likely impossible, that you could get with your right side body down, your right big toe to the floor, but try anyway. Breathe. See if you can stay up and come through a plank on the forearms or the palms and make your way to the other side. With the left hand down, if that's your other side, could you take your left big toe to the floor? Again, most likely impossible, but could you try? How does that shift what's happening in your side waist? Follow the frontal body in. Bring it back to the center. Do the first side again. 3. Lift. 2. 1. Second side. Not that long, I believe in you. 3. 2. 1. Come back to neutral. Lower the knees. Lower the belly. Come to a Sphinx pose moment. Breathe here. Exhale. Maybe roll the shoulders up in towards the ears, back and down, puffing the chest forward. Shoulders up and in, back and down, puffing the chest forward. Maybe lean with the elbows pressing down, one ear to one shoulder. Lifting your jaw up. Do the other side. Be lifting your side jaw, not the tip of your jaw, the side of your jaw, up. Can you feel neck stretch here? Bring it back into the center. Bring the face down to the floor for a moment. Hang out here. Back strengthening. Keeping all of that tight frontal core work, that side body core work. Bring the belly up and in. Here's where maybe you want your blocks. I think we did this a couple weeks ago, but at any rate, then do it here. You don't have to use blocks to do this. It's just a fun experiment in balance and finding float away from the floor in a different way. I can put my 2 blocks one in front of the other, making sure my pubic bone is grounded on the fronts of the blocks. Blocks will probably come up to sternum depending on how long your torso is. If your torso is really long, it's okay if the sternum goes beyond. Make sure the pelvis is grounded first and foremost. Squeeze the thighs. You can stay here with pointed toes, especially pointed toes if you're on the floor. You can flex the toes if you're on blocks. Do that core work. Lift the belly up and in. Frontal pelvic bones coming towards rib bones. Rib bones pulling up and in towards the back body. Take your arms out to the side. Option to stay here on the fingertips. Option to float one leg or both legs. Option to float the hands away from the floor. Breathe. Lift the chest up, lift the thighs up, but keep frontal core work so the low back stays long. 4, 3, 2, 1, lower that down. Take the head to the floor. Maybe wiggle side to side. One more action, really squeezing shoulder blades back, down and in. Any amount, lifting your way up. Maybe pointing the toes if you're on the floor, flexing the toes if you're on blocks. Float. 5. Squeeze chest up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the head back down, the knees back down, and then push yourself back for child's pose. Hang out here, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, send the seat up and back. Take a little down dog moment. See in between the feet or the knees. Exhale here. Lower the knees down. You did it. All parts of the core today. So thank you for being here today. If you really need to go ham and you have more things to work out of your system, rinse and repeat or do another one of the videos. Hit it to one of the yoga channel videos. Otherwise, I thank you and I will see you next week. And if you are going out, if you're participating in any protesting actions today, be safe, check in with your people, have a fully charged phone if possible, and let people know where you are. Okay, thanks.